Peace to y'all. And peace to anybody who's seeing the recording. If you believe in the historical Christ, you are a Catholic. You ain't no Protestant. You ain't no... Hell, if you believe in the historical Muhammad story, you're a Catholic. And these are things that people don't know, and learning this information is actually going to lead to our redemption, and that's what we got to let people know, so that we can get boots on the ground when it comes to our redemption. That's why we're getting this good word out. The time is now. It's a wonderful time to be alive. But the people who's deceived don't know how they deceived, and they don't know what these chains that's on us, what it really is. So we got to let the people know exactly who the enemy is. It's really what it comes down to. Singling out exactly who the enemy is. And that's basically the Roman Catholic Church, y'all. It's a kingdom that is illegitimate, and it's not gonna be in its position forever. But first it'll be us coming to replace them. First it'll be us coming to judge them, us coming to call them out for the things that they've done and the things that they lied about. It will be us finding out what they lied about. Soon here, the whole world is going to find out that they lied about the Jesus history story. That it was really an African prophecy. That was a prophecy for our generation. It wasn't a history story. The Roman Catholic Church colonized the world with a history story, but it was never a history story. They taught the world about a history story, and all the nations who are Christian and Muslim and all that, everybody believed in the history story, but the history story comes from the colonizer. The history story don't come from the truth. And this is what people are gonna have to accept on this day. At this last days, people are gonna have to accept that the Jesus from the history story is false. It was really a prophecy about the end days and about revolution in the end days and unity under the real Son of Man, who would be a brother in our from our people. You know, because the Spirit always, in the book at least, God always puts the Spirit in a Noah or a Moses or a Jonah. So this person is on earth now. A lot of people are talking about, everybody's really talking about, oh, I know God, I know the Spirit, I know the ancestors, I know this, I know that, I know God in Christ. Everybody's talking about that, but it's just causing so much confusion for the real one. It's causing a world of confusion for the real one. Everybody knows Christ and everybody knows God, but in the book, it was a person among you. And it was that simple. It was a person among you. It was a Moses, it was a Jonah, it was a Noah, it was a person among you in the book. But now, all of a sudden, everybody just knows God, Christ, and all these things. So, that's actually what you're dealing with right now. And what we're here to let you know, that that's actually what's happening on earth right now. You got a a Noah or a Jonah or a Moses or what you want to call him among the people, and the people don't know. But he's here, and a lot of people aren't gonna recognize what the work is. A lot of people are gonna hate on him. They're gonna cast stones. They're gonna leave him hanging. They're gonna try to find holes in what he's doing and all that stuff. So all these things are inevitable, but the real ones are gonna unite, and righteousness is gonna win. So now we just up here to testify to the one who's been chosen in our generation, to the one who everyone should unite under, who's among us now, creating unity now, establishing the order now. We should unite under this one who's here. So we just go through the scriptures to help people understand. And feel free to come up, y'all. Feel free to come up. And this is Isaiah 29:11. It says, "And the vision of all of this has become to you like the words of a book that is sealed. When men give it to one who can read, saying, 'Read this,' he says, 'I cannot, this book is sealed.'" So they give it to one, they give the book to people who can read the book. And, man saying, "Look, this book is sealed." Like, it's what you talking about? A lamb and a light and a candlestick and a this and a that and a chariot and all that stuff is metaphors. So you can read the book, but you can't read the book. That's what it says in the book. That you can read the book, but you can't read the book. So when can you read the book? Well, it comes to life, because it's about a book of life. So you'll see you'll see a movement on the earth that's unifying people with the spirit, and that's who we are. A movement on the earth to unify the people with the spirit. Because it is only darkness that has divided us so far. So we have to shine light on the hidden darkness that exists, and that's how all these religions exist. It's not like it's not for no good reason that all of these indigenous nations believe in Christianity and Jesus. Like, that's not for a good reason. That's for a bad reason. Because you go to these places and the people will tell you, like, nah, like, they forced Christianity on us. Like, Christianity had more to do with our slavery than Christianity had to do with our freedom. So the origin of believing in the Bible story, the root of where we get the Bible story and believing in it from, the root is bad. The root has to be torn out. So that's the whole history story of Christ that the world believes in, that actually is getting ripped out. It's getting ripped out. And y'all know how much of a different world we'll live in on that day when they don't believe in Jesus no more. It'll just be a completely different day, man. It'll be a completely different day. A lot of the pretending, a lot of the wishing and hoping, all the fairy tale, a lot of these things are actually going to be removed from our mindset.
Hi, Talia. You doing all right today?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Great, great. Now, I was just calling. I was up here, scroll by. I was just wondering, like, when, how long is it gonna take? Because what's the hold up? But
Well, it says that if you will hearken to my voice, the kingdom will come. So it's a matter of a certain amount of people hearing the voice and recognizing God and submitting to God. It's a certain amount of people.
it's gonna be. When you said recognize, who knows the number of the people, and how close are you to getting the people that you need?
Only God knows. Only God knows the number.
So is Yaju? Isn't he God?
He's God in the flesh.
Okay, so he doesn't know how many what are they going to be called? Disciples or followers or what?
Yeah, disciple. We it's a lot of names. Yeah, saints.
Okay. Okay, so what does he need? Does he need media capability? What's the hold up? Because if he's here in the flesh and everybody on earth wants to be saved, we know as soon as the Christ comes to earth, then this is the end, right?
Well, it's the end of your what's it called? Your imaginations. It's the end of
Mm.
bullshit. Like because it's like when Christ comes, when the spirit falls on Christ, he like the devil's destroyed. It's like the lights on and all the darkness is gone. But not
Mm.
everyone is gonna get up just because the light is on. It's only the builders of the kingdom, the revolutionaries, are going to get up because the light is on. So we're at that point where the revolutionaries are uniting because the light is on.
Oh yeah. So I mean, doesn't Christ have like? I mean, have you witnessed his power?
Yes,
Yeah, I'm
you're
talking about
witnessing.
the Yaju, the Yaju Christ.
Yeah, you coming up here right now is a part of his power.
Okay,
You
but I'm
know,
saying I'm talking
you're
about not adding me into it. I'm talking about his power. Does he have enough power to just go on television and say, "Hey, I'm the Christ. I'm here. Let's get cracking." Or what? That's why I said, what's the hold up? You got 8 billion people on the earth, and maybe they want to be, have an opportunity to be saved also. I think I seen him at Piedmont Park the other day. Um, does he have time to do that while babies are suffering and people are sick with cancer and you know all of the suffering going on in the world?
well, like I said, the light is on. So it's like we have an actual solution to all of the issues in the world, literally, and nobody gives a damn. And that's really weird, isn't it? So like the people who do give a damn, we need those people to come together so that we can actually put the solution into effect. But most people don't care that the solution is on the table. Most people aren't going to put in the work that's needed, put in that teamwork that's needed to make it happen. So we're waiting on the team, the rest of the team.
So you're telling me, do you agree that Christ has all power in heaven and earth according to the scriptures?
Yeah, I've witnessed that. He does.
Okay, so if he has all power, couldn't he just make it happen without anyone else?
Well, the power of heaven and earth is natural law. It's natural magic. It's not you know, it's
Because
not
I just have
imaginations.
okay, so like in the Jesus Christ in the scripture story or whatever, I don't know if you guys I think you guys halfway believe it. But when he picked his disciples, he taught his disciples, but he was the one that was speaking and giving sermons because he was here, right? He didn't need his disciples to give sermons and speak the word of God on his behalf. So why do you guys do that? Why can't he just get on here because he's all powerful and speak on God's behalf so we can hear him? He should be on here all day, every day. He shouldn't be having you guys come up here and talk about stuff that you really maybe not know all of it, because we know that Christ's going to know all of it. So why would he send you guys out there to do that? Now, I can understand if he was taken into heaven and left out behind to preach the gospel, but y'all are here with him. So why isn't he doing this himself? We want to hear from the mouth of God.
Well, it says that you was gonna lift up judges. It didn't say God was gonna lift up one judge. It said God was gonna lift up judges. God was gonna lift up a kingdom. That's teamwork. Like we keep saying, he's not gonna do, I don't even
Okay,
know
so
like what
so
it would even look like if he was like,
so okay.
are you saying when he is established as King of Kings, it shouldn't be no more African kings and presidents no more? Like they should all just leave because he's
Um,
Christ now, or like what are you getting
no,
at?
I'm not. I don't. I'm not talking about any countries. Christ is the King. He is the King of heaven and earth. He is the ruler of heaven and earth. Right. He has all power in heaven and earth. And because of that, why isn't he speaking? Why does he have other people talking for him when he is alive in the flesh?
Well,
This is what
heaven
everybody's been
is
waiting on, right?
heaven. Well, yeah, but you don't like what people are waiting on. They don't understand what they're waiting on. That's the thing. Like when you wait for heaven, it's not going to be literal chariots and unicorns up there. It's going to be people who um carried the glory. It's going to be people who had wings. Like it's not going to be, when you get to heaven, it's not going to be what you imagine. Um it's going to be natural magic. So
Okay, so
heaven and earth is always talking about natural magic on the earth.
okay, despite what we understand, right, or what we imagine, we know that all power in heaven and earth means that somebody is all powerful. That means he's the most powerful in heaven and the most powerful on earth, right? Doesn't that mean that if you're gonna be, that's what the Messiah, those titles he holds that.
Well,
So
heaven
if
and
he,
earth is the same thing. Like earth, heaven is on earth. It's not in the sky.
the heaven was, say it again.
Heaven is on earth. It's not in the sky.
What do you mean sky? Sky.
Well, people believe heaven is far away, but heaven is with the people.
I agree with that somewhat. I could see where you would say that, but
Yeah, so he has all power with the people. It's all for
oh,
one and one for all. So it's all for his purpose. That's what that means.
okay. If that's the case, that means upon his arrival, right, he would be all powerful in earth right now, right? So it means that he could at least go to a cable news station and tell the people that he's here, right? Or go and pilgrimage himself around the world to tell the people that he's here.
Well, no, like for him to magically have control of currencies like money so that he can go out and do that, and him naturally have, like, that's not the power of the heavens and the earth. The powers of the heavens and the earth is to
Remember, all power.
faithful, the powers of the heaven and earth is to be on the right side of God. So remember how it says, I'll put you on my right side and make your enemies your footstool.
Right.
So that's saying that he's an untouchable person. He's faithful and true. So what he's doing is going to work. He has perfect intentions. So it's going to work for him. In the name of God, it's going to work. This mission of his is going to work. It's all given to him. That's what that's talking about.
Okay, all right, I understand that too. But what is, we got eight. You remember now we got 8 billion people on the earth, and I don't know how many people he's reaching or whoever knows him. I know we know him because we see him on TikTok or whatever and YouTube. But what is his plan on? Because people in the process of because he does a lot of things that it's kind of like wasting time. So it's just like it's a lot of people they got people that are really really suffering, and then they got people that are minimally suffering. Then you got people that are not suffering at all. But what about those
Well, yeah, but
really,
brother, like that's what our whole like that's what the whole mission is like. You have to understand what the purpose that we're gathering people for is for a government. Like we're not gathering people to help us pass out food to the homeless right now. Like I think you have the wrong view on it. Right now is not time for the niggas kingdom to pass out food to the homeless. It's not that time. Even though the homeless are hungry, this is not that time. The time is to gather the government to rip out the root of the problem as soon as possible. That's the that's our purpose right now. Is to gather a
so
government.
so you saying you're going to rip out? So what do you think the root? What's the root of the problem?
It's the Roman Catholic Church and the British Empire not addressing King David on earth, not addressing the Solomonic dynasty that they really attacked to make it fall.
So
Their
you
position.
really think that that's going to alleviate the suffering in this globe that we live on right now?
That's inevitable. Inevitable. Like it literally, there's no other way it wouldn't. It's the people who are in power doing evil being replaced by righteous leadership.
Okay, but that's just your opinion about what righteous leadership is. The leadership could be righteous right now, but we still need to alleviate suffering on the globe. And we have Christ, the all powerful one, right? The King of Kings, Lord of Lords, the King of the universe, right? The all powerful, almighty God, right here in our midst, and we can do nothing.
Well, you say you have Jesus and you can do nothing
No,
because you don't
I'm waiting.
understand
He's
Jesus. You're
no.
not you're not having love for your brother
Okay,
because you have
let's
an
just forget about
issue.
Jesus. Let's forget
No,
about Jesus
Mr.
because
Blitz,
Christ is
Mr.
here.
Blitz, Mr. Blitz. If he was not Jesus, you would I hope you would support his movement because his movement is to restore the Solomonic dynasty, which would call you its child. It would tell the Solomonic dynasty would tell you, Mr. Blitz, you sound like an African American. The Solomonic dynasty will recognize you as its child. And he has a movement to restore this dynasty in the name of God and God's people and justice. So this is the King David story, and most people was gonna deny it.
Okay, so um, and like I was saying, without bringing Jesus into it, because I kind of replaced Jesus with him. I guess what I'm talking to y'all because that's who he is, really, right?
No, he's Christ.
No,
He's
well, I
really Christ.
mean, if we go read the Bible and we see Jesus' name, it's just really talking about Yaju, right?
Sometimes you could kind of put it like that.
I mean, all the time, right? Because the Bible is true, right?
Well, I'm saying that you could put it like that because like it's metaphors, so it's not literally like Little Red Riding Hood. These had a mystery meaning. So Yaju is who he is. Like he's literally like his own person.
But so the Bible is not written about him.
It's written about a fairy tale that comes true, and Yaju is the truth. Who
Wait a minute, fairy tales aren't true. You guys say the Bible is true. So is the Bible true or is it a fairy tale?
you know what a metaphor is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So the mystery or the darkness, the thing that you don't know, but it's hidden. It's behind the scenes. The real he's the thing that you didn't know until it was revealed to you. His life is what you didn't know until it was revealed to you. But the book was just telling you a childhood story about it.
Right. So the childhood story, when they say, in the name of Jesus Christ, rise up and walk, they really could replace that name with Judah's name in the Bible, correct?
Um, yeah, I mean, if
I mean, because
that don't,
we
it
didn't have
won't like it
Yaju's
won't
name.
do nothing because like
Oh,
to do something in the name of God or the name of Yaju or something is to do something with his principles, with his righteousness in mind. That's how you do something in the name of Yaju. It's not like you do something having to do with the letters YAH or the letters Jesus. It's not about the letters, it's about knowing the man and following his example.
okay. So you saying he not in the Bible? Because so I always thought that I guess when I talk to y'all, I always kind of replace Jesus with Judah as far as reading the Bible and stuff like that. So you saying it's not like that?
No, it is. It's just metaphors. Like I'm saying, when you read the Bible, don't think he was riding on a literal donkey.
Huh. Oh, okay. So what is that part? What does that mean? Riding on a donkey? Like it's a metaphor.
Yeah, it's a metaphor.
What is the metaphor?
Well, the donkey is an asshole. You know,
What you say?
a donkey is an asshole. That's what a donkey is. Um, yeah. So you riding on a donkey, it's like you you
I'm sorry.
using them. They want to make a fool of themselves, and you're using them because he's got somewhere to be. He's got to take a ride. So it's like,
Hey, you got me with that one, right?
yeah.
All right, I'm sorry. All right, let's get back. Okay, so how are we supposed to know? So, like I said, you on here, you talking. Why we can't get? He need to be on here all day, every day, going from page to page in the Bible, showing us the metaphors and letting us know, right?
Well, I mean, he'd be saying the same thing over and over again. Like he's kind of been doing because this isn't something that changes. You know, there's a lot of things that have to be done behind the scenes that you don't know about.
Okay, that's just like the inner gang, like the disciples that he has.
Yeah. Yeah. It was even I'm pretty sure it was a scripture in the Bible too that said one day Christ said that they can recycle the bread, So you know,
Right. So does y'all like I said when he goes out, like I'm in Atlanta too, so I guess you at Piedmont Park, doing whatever you're doing, kicking it or whatever, got your booth up. Do you ever like gather the people and did he speak to the people and say, "Hey, I'm Christ, listen to me," or did he speak to people there, give any sermons or mesmerize anybody? Heal any kids or you know what I'm saying?
I wasn't there,
Oh,
but
okay.
I do know that really what mesmerizes the 144 is the plan. It's the truth. So He's definitely always sharing the truth. That's the mission. That's the importance of events like this where people can actually really feel his body language. You know, people like in person, people take us for jokes a lot less than they do over the internet. So all these things are important. You know, the people who we're trying to gather right now are gonna understand what this is when they see it. You know, and the
Okay,
many
so
ways
how?
that we're singing the song, they're gonna see.
So when do you? When do? You, okay, I'm not going to ask. When do you expect to see some like migration to Africa and starting that stuff up? Like just you personally, not just I guess what he says, but what do you, when do you when is your expectation? What's your expectation of the time?
Mm, I don't really want to say, man. That's it's kind of difficult to say.
So do you have an expectation? Do you say, you know what? I know in the next year or so, I'm gonna be in Africa. I'm gonna be doing this, that, and the third. Or do you? Is it an open ended thing, or do you not have any expectation at all?
No, I mean, like, there's some stuff I could say, but it don't really help. Like, for me to
What you,
guess and be wrong for no, like, it's like we have
no,
plans. I'll tell you. I'll just
this
tell you
totally
that we have
your
plans
this
for our
totally your
people.
feeling. Man. I ain't asking for nobody else observation. I'm just saying for you personally in your heart. When do you think? Like, do you have an expectation of when you'll be there, or it could be wrong or whatever? But what's your personal thoughts on that?
I'm telling you, Mr. Blitz. I will just tell you that we have plans to get over there ourselves. And then we also have a judgment to get everyone else also over there, to fund everyone else also being over there. That's what our movement is about, is to fund Africans going home. So we don't know exactly when that's going to happen. Nobody knows. But we can tell you that we do have those plans for our government that we're building and for the rest of the people.
Okay, so you think is it going to be by ship or plane, or how do you expect it to be? How are people going? Are they going to be able to get a ticket to go? Well, is it going to be a travel agent? How is this going to go down? Because we could just go, get a plane ticket right now, $600-700. You there? So what is the like? Is it because of everybody's money situation, or is it like going to be an individual thing on financial things, or you guys going to provide the money? How's that going to go?
Yeah, that's too deep in our business, bro, to put on the internet. That's things that we will more so discuss on calls that we have on the back end for the people who contact the website to be a part of the calls on Mondays.
Oh, okay, so other people like we like outsiders, the people that is he here for all people or just uh, a select few?
He comes for the lost sheep of the house of Israel, like it's written. So the sheep is the people who have open hearts to hear, and they hear his voice. So
Okay. So
um
only the lost sheep of the house of Israel, or is he come for the sins of the whole world?
well, the lost sheep of the house of Israel is going to help him judge the world. So the
No.
lost sheep is the revolutionaries, and once the revolution has happened, that's how the world got cleansed of all the sin. So that's what he has to gather workers to make it happen.
All right. So what about the people that just believed on him before he got here and wasn't any in Israel? Well, they just believe wholeheartedly in him. What is he going to do for those people?
He's answering the prayers because they're gonna wake up in a world that was saved, and they're gonna wake up from their delusions, and they're and they're gonna find out that he actually showed up for him. I mean, he actually showed up for them.
Okay. So you don't think so? In your opinion, does this Christ have supernatural powers? Does he have supernatural ability?
Or like Hocus Pocus.
No, not like hocus pocus. Like the Bible says that Christ, he made it wasn't anything that was made that was made. In Him was life, and that was the light of men. The light shining. You know the whole thing, but I mean that everything was made. Let's think about it. And everything was made. Christ made it. So, do you attribute that power to Him?
That's spiritual talk. That's
I
like
mean, no, I'm talking about. Okay, so let's not take it spiritual. Like let's just take the animals on the earth, right? All the animals had seeds to make animals, right? This seed was for this animal, this seed for that animal. How many animals is it? We don't know. Millions, billions, who knows, right? But we know Christ made those animals, right? We know
you're
Christ made.
talking Hocus Pocus.
So it's hocus pocus. Are you hocus pocus? You
No.
you a flesh. You're in flesh. I'm looking at you right now, and I know a seed made you, right?
Yeah,
And
Hocus
In the
Pocus
Bible,
is
it says Christ is the seed.
brother.
So,
Hocus Pocus is simply your imagination, things that aren't real and not natural. So
which
him creating all the animals on the earth is Hocus Pocus.
okay, so the Bible lying.
No, the Bible is metaphors that you don't understand.
So what's the metaphor of Him creating all things?
It's like saying that Mary birthed a nation. It's the like if you're the creator, that also means that you're the leader. That also means that you're the this like you set the trend.
Okay, what's the metaphor of saying I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me? What's the metaphor in that? That means that all things mean all things, right?
It,
Not some of the things.
it just means that you'll be given courage for God's mission. When you need help when it comes to God's mission, because you gotta understand this book ain't for everybody. This book ain't like for everybody to just pick up and just have like moral lessons. No, this book is for the priests who are doing the mission on earth now. A few people, that's it. Only a few people. That's who the book is for. So that's talking about our encouragement.
Okay, so when the Bible says also that He created all things, and by Him all things consist. He is the head of the body, the church, the first born from the dead, right? In Him shall be all fullness should dwell in Him. Is that a true statement? How is that a metaphor right there?
It's talking about the one with the worthy spirit to
So
lead the
it's talking about
lead the
Yaju,
people.
right?
Yeah, that's the spirit that dwells in him.
So the spirit that dwells in Him is the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, correct.
Can He give the Holy Spirit to you guys?
He's given it to us. That's what has transformed us.
Okay, so he wouldn't have to die before He gave you the Holy Spirit.
That's not literal.
Oh, it's not literal death.
No, no, it's not. Like when you say you throwing stones, that's not literal. That's the way that we talk because this book actually comes from us. This actually comes from
Well,
Africa.
when they stoned Stephen, he actually died in the Bible.
Well,
So is
they
that
didn't
was
actually
metaphor
stone
too?
him. They didn't actually stone him. Like when you
No.
casting stones at somebody, you hating, you trying to insult people, and you don't even got all the your porch swept, but you worrying about somebody else. That's what it means to throw
Right.
stones at people.
Now that's another meaning for that. But if I actually throw a stone at you and hit you in your forehead, that means that I actually casted a stone at you, right?
But brother, when it's talking about he speaks in
Is that true
parables,
though?
because in seeing they don't see, and in hearing they won't hear. Like that's it talks about they left Christ hanging. It talks about they stabbed him in the back. It talks about they what else did they do to Christ? They tried to poke holes in what he was doing and what he was standing on, and his holes in his hands and his feet.
Right.
That's all That's
But you
not
know what you
literal.
were saying. Okay, so they have a passage. It just kind of came up about Thomas that didn't believe that Christ was crucified in the flesh, right? And he said, He said, if I don't stick my hands in this inside and see the print of the nails, I will not believe. Right? So
Yeah.
Christ appeared, right? And he said, Thomas, stick your hands in my side and look at the print of the nails. And when he did that, he said, oh my goodness, my God. He said, my Lord and my God.
Yeah,
He said,
correct.
yeah, so is that a metaphor?
Yes. All of these things that we're talking about are metaphors. It's all happening now. We're witnesses.
So when he stuck his hand in the side, that was a metaphor.
Yeah.
So when he told him, I won't believe unless I stick my hand in the real side of Christ. So
No,
how is
these
that?
things you don't have to literally stick your hand in his side. It's like that's a metaphor though. Like if you if you say, "Come on, man, I gotta feel you," that's because for whatever reason right now I don't feel your emotions. I don't feel your energy. I don't feel your spirit. I need to be able to feel where you're coming from. Because you don't believe in Yaju because you refuse to feel where he's coming from. So Thomas is like, I have to actually be in your shoes, dog. Like, I have to understand what you mean about this crucifixion you say they doing to you. So
Right.
Thomas had to literally do his research to understand, like, damn, like he's actually being crucified though, and he's only telling the truth, and he's actually being crucified though. Like Thomas had to really see it, and then he would be like, oh, okay, I see who you are now.
Right. So so you taking out of it what? So you saying that it's not nothing about what Thomas. It's all a metaphor.
Yes, this is not a literal thing. Like, yes, that's what we keep saying the same thing, Mr.
But
Blake.
that said the rest of that passage says, Thomas, since you've stuck your hand in my side, you believe. But blessed are those who have not seen and yet believe. So what about the people that have not seen and believe? Is that a metaphor also? Blessed are those because you guys say certain times that, we have Christ right here and we can see him. And you always make fun of us not being able to see the Christ from long ago. So, is that a metaphoric statement? Blessed are those that have not seen but yet believe.
Belief, belief. Like, if you actually Christ actually shows up to a believer, then the believer is gonna accept him. Like, but people say they're believers, they're not really believers. Like, if you really believe that God could send His Son, then you're gonna accept Yaju. That's what that is saying.
Okay, so it's
In the
not. What
flesh
about
coming to
what?
you. Like if you were really okay, whatever you want to do, God, whatever you want to do, Christ, and God actually sends Christ to you in the flesh, Yaju, everything that he's doing, completely Christ, actually shows him to you in the flesh, like you would be a non-believer and a fool to deny the truth that's in front of you. Like
Okay, so what about all the people that existed before Yaju existed?
what nobody was a
And they read
prophesied son
that
of man.
same passage. Blessed are those that have not seen yet believe. Yaju ain't here now. He hadn't even been born yet. So what about those people? Like your mama or my grandmama.
Well, that's why the book said it says that the prophets and your grandparents wish that they could live in your generation where they would see him, but they didn't make it.
Hmm. You, you said they. What scripture is that one?
1 second. I'm gonna read it for the people too. I think it's Ephesians 3 and 5.
You said Ephesians.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh, no, it's in Hebrews, I think.
Are you talking about Hebrews 1?
Um, no, mine says Hebrews 11 and 39.
Okay.
Hebrews 11 and 39. And all these, though commended through their faith, did not receive what was promised, since God has provided something better for us. Apart from us, they should not be made perfect. I don't think that's what I was looking for, though.
No, I think that's what you. Yeah, maybe you might have to go up a little bit. They were saying they were stoned, they were sown asunder, they were tempted, they were slain with a sword. They wandered about in sheepskins and goat skins, being destitute, afflicted, tormented, of whom the world was not worthy. They wandered in deserts and caves and mountains and dens of the earth. And these all, having obtained a good report through faith, received not the promise.
Well, no, I
Yep.
was looking for this right here.
Oh, go ahead.
It's Matthew 13 and
Well,
that
okay.
13 and 16. It says, God bless, but blessed are your ears, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. Truly I say to you, many prophets and righteous people long to see what you see and did not see it, and to hear what you hear and did not hear it.
Hmm. Now, of course, that is speaking of him at that time, right?
It's talking about our generation now because he didn't exist in the history story. That's made up by the colonizer.
Okay, so if that was made up by the colonizer, who is speaking in that scripture?
This is a prophecy, so it's only these
Who?
are only things that the prophet said in story form. This isn't actual events.
No, I'm saying who's speaking. What you just read me, who is that speaking?
The prophecy of Isaiah is fulfilled that says, so this is a prophecy of Isaiah. So somebody who was like an Isaiah prophet figure, this is coming from the prophet so-called Isaiah.
Okay, the prophet so called Isaiah, and Jesus reiterated the prophecy, right?
Jesus is not real. Yaju is the one who God chose and the one who God was talking about, who does the miracles.
Okay, so when when this person is speaking right here, who because in the book Jesus is speaking right there. So who is that that's speaking, and how who gives this vision? How did the vision come about? It had to be somebody had the wherewithal to write it down. Yeah, you didn't write it down, right?
That's what I'm saying. The prophet, so called Isaiah, seen a vision and told you about a vision. Like, if I have a dream that something's gonna happen, my dream isn't when it happens. When it happens is when it happens.
Right.
So Isaiah had a dream, and then Yaju is when it happens.
Okay, but the person that's speaking right there is telling you it's happening now.
No, you're reading Isaiah's dreams because nothing is happening in a book. You're just reading Isaiah's dreams.
No, I'm saying what you just read me was the fulfillment of that. That's what Jesus is telling you, that that's the fulfillment of that vision from back in the day. And he didn't say, he ain't talking about that being fulfilled at a later time. So why
Well,
didn't he
you
give us
only
the accurate information if, you know,
you're believing in a timeline of when Christ already came. But Christ did not come because he did not bring down Jerusalem. He did not remove the sin. He did not defeat the devil. He did not restore the throne of Israel. So the history story that you believe in was made up to
okay,
cover up the
so
truth
why you don't think he did all those things?
because he never did it.
What do you mean? Israel was
Jerusalem.
destroyed.
There's no there's if he
Israel
brought
was
down
destroyed. The
Jerusalem,
temple was torn down, just like he said. So I don't understand what you mean by that.
you're talking
Je-
about a temple
Jesus,
made with men's hands was torn
yeah,
down.
for sure. And Jesus came into his own, remember, and his own received it not. That's
No,
why.
that didn't
That's why
happen.
he. That's why he got. He had to go to the cross and be crucified
That
because.
did not happen.
Okay, so what is that? So when they made this story, so you saying this story is just a fictitious account? Somebody just made this stuff up. Now you
It is a
remember you got a whole,
prophecy.
you
It
have
is
many
dreams.
writers. You don't have just one person making this up. So you saying everybody just made up the same story?
Blitz. The colonizer made up a history story. The prophecy is happening now.
Okay, so the colonizing happened 200 years ago, no, 300 years ago, maybe 400 at the most.
Okay.
So you saying somebody from 400 years ago made up something that was from 15, 1600 years before that, through time,
No.
different art
Yes.
with different authors.
No. 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 Somebody only a few hundred years ago, somebody recently took an old ass book. Nobody knows how old the Bible is, but somebody took it and they told you about, oh, well, all this happened in ABCD timeline. And now you believe in a history story, but it was always a prophecy.
So you saying everybody was in on it through history?
What do you mean everybody
I
was?
mean, just think about that. I mean, you saying everybody was in. That means that people that wasn't even born yet would have to be in on the plot. You know, to alter the story and fabricate things in the book. They was just writing what they went through. So you saying everybody through history? Just think about how that don't make sense.
I
You
don't
know,
understand what you're asking.
I'm just saying you're saying that the colonizers did it. But how could the colonizers might have had the book, but what they did with the book, I agree with you. They used the book for evil when they shouldn't have been. But that don't mean that the book wasn't didn't predate them and it wasn't true before the colonizers were even here.
That's what we're saying. It's true, but you believe in the lie, not the truth.
Oh, what is the lie though?
The history story Jesus.
Okay, well, so you saying that's a lie?
Yes.
So the Bible is a lie or is it true?
No, you believe in the fake dates that are put on Disney Channel.
The fake dates.
Prophecy, the truth of the prophecy is it was really what the prophets foreseen and what they spoke about, and then they put in a book, and then Yaju was manifested.
Okay, so the fake dates. Okay, why do you call them fake dates? If I look on my phone, it says 2025. Now is that fake? Because I know it's on your phone too, and I know it's on everybody's phone. So how is that fake? That is
It's fake
absolute real.
because Christ never came. He's here now. That's what the
It
fake
don't
is.
matter about it's. I'm just saying, is it real or not that you have 2025 on your phone?
It's fake because it's not. It's
It's
based
not
off
fake.
of. It's
Come
fake.
on now.
It's based off of the dates that we have. 2025 is based off of ABCD. Christ already came. That's what our whole calendar is based off of.
Okay,
All
so
this stuff is political.
okay, all right, it's political. So all of these dates that when it started from zero to now, right? You saying they just made it up at when, what time now? Because when we go back in time, for as far as we can go back, now you can kind of, hey, when did the presidents? When did George Washington? He fake too?
Brother, I'm just saying the ABCD that you believe in, the ABCD is, I mean, not the ABCD you believe in, but the ABCD dates about Jesus Christ came 2,000 years ago in Nazareth and stuff. That timeline of the prophecy that you believe in, that creates the dates that we go by, the calendar that creates the politics that we stand on as nations. So the whole world is actually built off of this lie.
Okay, so what about the Hebrew calendar? Is that fake too?
The Hebrew is also a lie.
It's a lie. So that's a lie too. So what about the calendars made up by the Egyptians? That's a lie too.
Well, like you have
Because
other.
we got a big pyramid with proof about time. Time ain't fake. Especially on Earth it ain't.
You have other nations who have other cultures who also, some of them make contributions to the prophecy, but um you know all the world is colonized also by the British Empire, so the information isn't gonna be completely pure, like you might have a little bit of prophecy when it comes to the Egyptian stuff, but you have a lot of watered down information because it's colonized.
Okay, so is Egypt colonized too?
um I don't know too much about Egypt, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they're not a free, like, you know,
So the whole world's colonized.
damn near.
Oh, okay. So you saying all these people's cultures, right? Through time, we got a timeline. We know that the with the sun and when the sun goes down and comes up, that's a day. You don't think everybody was counting that stuff? You don't think that everybody in time and history was counting days?
For what? Like,
I'm
people,
saying, you think we lost count?
yeah.
So when you go back and your grandmama and your great grandmama was born, right? And they're telling you when they was born at, you think, oh, that's just phony.
Well, they
We,
don't tell me where they was born at. A lot of them
so,
don't even barely remember, know how to, like,
so if you have a kid, right, and you watch your kid grow up to be, 30 years old, and those days are correct, you gonna just go back and say, you know what, we missed some.
that's not the point of nothing that's really going on. Like, the
I'm
only
just
reason to
saying
bring
though,
up the
man,
dates.
time is time though.
But the
Everybody
reason to
can
bring up the
calculate
dates,
time.
listen, bro, the reason that we know that the 2,000 year old, that the Jesus that you believe in is false, you go in this prophecy and it didn't happen. It didn't bring down Jerusalem. This is how we know it didn't bring down Jerusalem in a history story, because you look around and the world is not Jerusalem. This is not the righteous city. This is not the world peace.
So,
That
so the temple.
it said he was gonna bring this down to earth. So
So
all
the,
these things that say he was supposed to establish, he establishes now. He don't not establish it, but he came in a history story, but he never did it. He does it now in our generation.
okay, so when you have proof, they have where the temple stood that is demolished. They have a wall called the Wailing Wall, right? That's there right now today. That used to it's it's a real wall. It's remnants of a real temple. Okay, they conquered the Jews and put the Islamic temple on top of the Temple Mount. So
Brother,
that's not true either.
no, it's not. They could
But
show
there's a temple on the top of the Temple Mount from the
brother,
people that
they could
conquered it.
show you a bag of bones and say that's the bones of the whale that spit out Jonah, and you will believe it.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I could believe that because it's too many fish in the sea. But what I can believe is a temple that was standing. It's like I can believe that the pyramid is still there. Whether I want to believe Egyptians existed or not, I
But
can
why would
believe it
you?
because
But
of
this
the
is
pyramids.
But
I
this is
can
what
go
we
in and
talk
go back.
about, Mr. Blitz. This is what we talk about the adultery. Because why would you go and believe in their doctrine when you're not even focused on the fact that their Jesus never brought down Jerusalem? Their Jesus never removed the sin. Their Jesus never destroyed the devil, removed the idols from the land, and united Israel, and sat on the throne. And the Jesus you believe in never did this, but you're still going to believe in the temple of that Jesus and the
I believe there's
right.
a lot of the Bible is a mystery, like you said. And of course, he came to his own. They didn't believe him, and what did they do? They put him on the cross and they had him crucified because they didn't want to believe that that was the Messiah, and it was a Messiah. But the Messiah outsmarted the devil, and he died for all mankind, and he shed his blood so they could be forgiven. So now when he did all of that. Now in the process of that, Israel fell. The temple got destroyed. You know what I'm saying? And they got scattered. So they scattered to this day until they just came up with they said that they was going to come back into their land, and they created another Israel in what's that 1948. So I mean that's true.
Okay, so let me read in Isaiah what was supposed to happen when we do actually go back to the land. Okay, so as Jeremiah 30, it says, the word came to Jeremiah from the Lord. It said, thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, write in a book all the things I have spoken to you. Behold, the days are coming, declares the Lord. I will restore the fortunes of my people Israel and Judah, says the Lord. I'll restore our fortunes, so we should be in unity in the mind, and we should also have our own government. If our fortunes are restored, so it says, our fortunes will be restored for Israel and Judah, says the Lord. I will bring them back to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they will take possession of it. So the people will come home in majesty. They will come home with authority of their own land. So that's what's
Okay.
happening now. You gotta let go of the fake one.
Okay, hold on a second though. But that was a prophecy, right? And you're saying that that prophecy has come to pass because Israel is a country, and they built the country in
No,
1948. Now, whether
no.
all of the people came back to the country or not, hey, that remains to be seen. Whether the people that's there are real or not, that right there is that's up to your imagination or your opinion. But the Israel, the state, I can get on a plane and fly to Israel right now. So we know that it's real, and that was a real prophecy that has been fulfilled. So
So the people in Israel have possession of their land right now.
yeah,
So why are they
yeah,
fighting Palestinians?
because they trying to protect their land.
So they don't have the
What
fortune. They're fighting for the fortune.
do you mean they don't have the fortune? They run the whole. They probably the richest people in the world. You know, now everybody don't want to call themselves those Israelis. I don't know what tribe they are, and I don't know where the rest of them are. Everybody want to be black Israelites, but that prophecy has been fulfilled.
So you don't know nothing about them, but you know that they fulfilled the prophecy of God.
Listen, I know Israel is over there, and the Israel, the state, has returned. Before 1948, it wasn't no Israel. They
It
had
was
demolished
established
it.
by America. You trust America?
You saying it's established by America? Where,
Yeah.
however it was established, America wasn't in the Bible. You know, they
America established Israel, or did Christ establish Israel?
listen. The prophecy says that Israel gonna be established, and
Does
Israel is right
America
there.
establish it, or does Christ establish it?
I mean, that's your opinion, but we know it's there. So who
I
you
mean,
think
the
established it?
prophecy. Since you want to talk about it, since you want to, put your
So
mouth and your
this the
name
truth.
on it.
This the
Since
truth.
you want to put your
Israel,
name on it, Mr. Blitz, I'm asking you, does Christ
Israel.
establish Israel, or does America establish the state of Israel?
Listen, whether Christ, but all I know is it's established. And I know that the prophecy was written for it to be established. And I
You don't
see it
know.
physically with my own eyes.
You're just talking
Huh?
out of your ass.
No,
You're
I'm
talking
not.
out of your
I
ass. You
know
say
this.
you know,
If somebody
and you don't
prophesies
know.
something, you can't. No, I'm telling you that because just because America helped establish it, don't mean they weren't part of the prophecy. We don't know that. You know, like I said, how nobody don't even know what America was when the Bible was written. They didn't know how the state was going to be formulated, but apparently it was formulated, and that's a fact because we can, like I told you, we can get our plane tickets and we can fly over to Israel. We can turn on TV and we can see Israel. And I can write a letter to somebody in Israel right now. So, I mean, however you want to look at it. I mean, a lot of factors went into them establishing a state. Do you agree with that?
Brother, we can't agree because you're refusing simple facts here, bro. Um,
I mean, what do you want me to say? That Israel ain't there? That that's not true? When we know Israel is real and it is true?
I just want you to submit instead of trying to fight, instead of trying to deny what's happening in front of you. I want you to submit to what's actually right.
Okay, what okay, give me a choice. What's the choice?
You stop fighting God and Christ and the disciples, and you listen to the videos. You go read all the information on the website so you're no longer confused. You read all the information because when you go to yajujuda.com, you read it head to tail. You will, if you actually read it with an open mind, you will understand exactly what this is, and you actually won't be able to deny it. You won't be able to forget it if you read it
Okay,
and
so you saying
listen.
Israel gonna be in Africa? Is that what you that's where we differ at or what?
That's a part of it, yeah. We're gonna go back to Africa.
It's gonna be in Ethiopia.
Yeah, that's where his throne is gonna be at.
All right. Well, listen, I don't deny that. Look, I can't. I'm not gonna be able to be the one to put a stamp on that either way, because if it is, hey, I kind of believe it might be, but I know that there's an Israel in the Middle East right now. Now, whether there's going to be another Israel in Ethiopia, that remains to be seen to us not right now. Now, if it happens, it happens, and I'm not going to be the one to press up against it happening. Now, hey, look, if it happened, it happened. But I'm not going to deny, that Israel is a state and they're a country right now, and they're a sovereign country, nation. I can't deny that right now, because we know that they are. We know they're dropping bombs on people over there right now. So, with planes with their name on 'em. Now, whether that transfers over to Africa, shit, I would like to see today. Hopefully, it will.
All right,
That's why I
bro.
want to know when they're gonna be taking that pilgrimage. Is it gonna be soon, or is it gonna be like 20 years from now? Is it gonna be 10, 5, what?
Well, we told you what we waiting on, bro. So you have to sit back and keep watch.
Sit back and relax, huh?
Yep.
But what you think about the Pope though? You think the Pope the devil?
He's like the he's more
Antichrist?
like the he's just an important player for the devil. The devil is really is a spirit.
Oh, okay. Okay. So like, so Antichrist. When somebody says the Antichrist, what do you think about?
It's the same thing as the devil. It's just it's like, these people have been colonizing us and lying to us and giving us false gods for a while, so it's just been darkness, and then Christ comes, the prophesied one in our generation, and then
So,
this year he is able to expose the lies. So if the truth is actually shown to you that's been hidden, the light is given to you, and you want to disrespect God at that moment, you want to deny the truth, even try to keep people away from the truth, now that it's here to set the people free, you be the devil.
so,
So the devil wasn't
so,
even here until God Jew was here to reveal the truth.
okay. So, the Antichrist would be toward Yaju. Uh, I'm not. So I mean, so you basically saying the whole establishment of the Roman Catholic Church is what you saying? Is that the Antichrist?
That's like the government, that's the root of it.
So is the American government part of that?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so y'all Jews Christ and all those people are Antichrist. So where does Jesus fall into that? Is he part of the Antichrist or is he part of the Christ?
Jesus is like the boogeyman. It's not real.
Oh, okay. Boogeyman.
But it does have a hidden meaning. And the hidden meaning comes to life. And, that would be Yaju.
Oh, okay. So is he on, like, are they on the same sides or are they on opposite, opposing sides?
It's not real. So it don't got a side. It
Oh,
don't
okay.
exist.
So it just absolutely ain't real.
It's not
Okay.
real.
All right. Well, I ain't gonna hold y'all up. You know, it's always a pleasure talking to you, Miss Talia. And I'll probably talk to you guys again sometime.
All right, holla, man.
All right. Bye.
Peace, peace. Going on, sis, bright eyes.
Peace and love, sis. Peace and love. Happy Monday.
Yeah, Grand Rising. Israel is also a part of the prophecy. In the book, Israel was always described as a people. The people who show that God is real. The people who will unite in the end days because we have that leader to unite with. That's what's going on. Like, we're a kingdom that needs to be restored simply. So we we have to be ready for this King of Kings, because thief in the night, he is among us, given that guidance for the spirit to return for the people. So we gotta not be offended in this day. Let's read about it. Ezekiel 28 and 25, it says, I will gather the house of Israel. Somebody's gonna gather the people from where you've been scattered and manifest my holiness in them, in the sight of the nations. So that's going to be the Pan-African Revolution in the sight of the nations, period. The King of Kings of Ethiopia is going to be a new King of Kings of Ethiopia very soon here, y'all. Gonna gather Israel from where you've been scattered. We were scattered from Africa. So we're going to be gathered from where we've been scattered and manifest my holiness in them in the sight of the nations. So all the nations are going to see the Pan-African Revolution, y'all. That's what's finna take place. That's why you see all this energy when it comes to Africa right now. They will dwell in their own land that I gave to my servant Jacob, the forefathers, and they will dwell securely in the land. Securely in the land. And that's big because it's like, it don't matter where you at in the world, you're not secure. You're not dwelling securely. That's why scriptures like this be so cold-blooded and so like, it just be too simple. It says you will dwell securely, and nowhere on the earth are we actually dwelling securely as a people in the mind and on the earth and in the system. We're not dwelling securely nowhere. So like when it says in that day you will dwell securely, and then you got people talking about, no, I don't want Christ to be a revolutionary that comes from the people. I want him to be a superhero who comes from the sky. But it says that you're going to dwell securely, so it's not going to be no Superman coming out the sky. It should be someone from among you who um establishes the standard that'll bring that peace. So that's why we're telling you that he's here now, and soon the whole world will recognize that he is here now when he gets his people together, who's really going to serve God right now. And they shall dwell securely in it, and they shall build houses and plant vineyards. They will dwell securely. There goes that securely again. I keep saying again and again, the people's going to dwell securely. Where's it at? And I will execute judgment upon all of their neighbors who have treated them with contempt. Then they will know that I am the Lord their God. So again and again, y'all, this prophecy is talking about how it's going to be a oneness of mind among the people. It's going to be an absolute understanding, removing the confusion, removing the lies forever. And that'll actually be like heaven on earth. There will be heaven on earth, the real one. When everybody will know the Lord. That can only happen now because he is on earth. And we're the witnesses to tell you. He is walking the earth. Catholic, not Roman Catholic, I'm assuming. No, it's really the same thing. Is this title, if you believe in the historical Christ, you are a Catholic. This is mainly to say that all the religions are more connected than they believe they are. They took a little bit of the truth to make you fall for the religion. They took a little bit of the truth to make you fall for the lie. That's what they got to do. But everyone's actually still waiting for the same truth. And that's what we're testifying to you, that Christ comes from the people. He don't come from the sky. That's the truth. And he's here now. And that's the truth. But all the religions I didn't know that the Muslims was waiting on Isa, as in Jesus. Like, the Muslims is waiting on Jesus and the Christians is waiting on Jesus. They might as well be the same. The Muslims and the Christians don't got a leader. Y'all both waiting on God to come back. So it's just a whole lot of mess that can really be cleared away. Now that, Yaju is here and these things are coming out now.
Tell me how a Protestant is a Catholic.
Because they believe in the historical Jesus Christ story.
So that's it? That's all it takes?
To be a Catholic, yes.
So Catholics have the Apocrypha in their books. A lot of them run the 80-book canon when a Protestant runs the 66-book canon. The reason for this is from the last book of the New Testament to Matthew is a 400-year period. So how is it that you're conflating the two to say that they are the same thing?
So do you believe that you can be in, let's say, a cult, but you don't know that you're in a cult?
So you're going to dismiss entirely that the canon isn't canon, but you're trying to conflate it and say that it is canon?
No, I'm trying to see where your mind is at. Because when it comes to people believing in the 2,000-year-old Jesus story, you don't know where that the history actually comes from. The history comes from the Roman Catholic Church. So
No, it comes from.
all the churches, I'll say, and then you can, show me where the historical Jesus comes from, because the historical Jesus comes from one church which has divided itself into many kingdoms and many churches, but they're all one entity used to colonize us.
And how are you getting that? Because you don't even agree with yourself right there.
No, I'm not confused at all with where I'm at. It's simply the Roman Catholic Church or the British Empire or the Vatican or the Parliament. This is a beast. This is the beast system, the Satan's kingdom over the earth.
I'm not
So,
disagreeing with that.
okay,
What I'm
okay,
saying
okay,
is the
okay. So
reason
you're not
for
disagreeing. So let
protest,
me finish.
for Protestants, Protestants, they protested that.
So let me finish. And this picture behind me, I don't know if you can read this. This says King of Kings of Ethiopia, 1868. So only in the 1850s, 1860s now, you had King of Kings, Majesty, Solomonic Majesty in Ethiopia. And you had the Roman Empire, the Roman Catholic Church, going into Ethiopia, colonizing, destroying the army, stealing gold, stealing artifacts, stealing prophetic manuscripts. So you have a fake kingdom that stole from a real kingdom. The fake
So how did
kingdom,
they get their kingdom?
the fake kingdom, Ethiopia is not the reason that we have a Jesus story. From Ethiopia is the reason that we have the prophecy. But the history story comes from the
Are
Roman
you
Catholic Church.
are you on drugs, like genuinely?
I'm not here to have a teenage conversation with you, bro. If you want to just stay focused, the prophecy comes like when the prophets, they seen the future and they wrote it on the goat skin and all that. The prophets,
Where do they
they were
come from?
Ethiopian.
Okay, where
But
does that come
the
from?
history story that you believe in comes from the Roman Catholic Church invading Ethiopia, stealing prophecies,
What
and
scripture?
telling
I
you
have the Bible open in front of me. Can you please
and
show me
telling
where?
you, hold up. I'm not just up here to convince you, bro. I'm up here to let people know about our movement to restore the Solomonic
But
dynasty.
you're lying to people.
So
You're spreading a
this
false
information,
gospel. You are spreading a false gospel.
radically, if you can't have an adult conversation, I'm gonna remove you because it would be a waste of my time.
You still
This
haven't given any scripture
information.
to prove your point. You're trying to say that Jesus
Okay, so
doesn't exist.
you're not able to control yourself. You that's all you
You're a
got.
serpent. You're a serpent. Come at her.
Let's see how fast he goes on about his day instead of trying to figure out what we're talking about. Let's see if he's gonna actually get away from the serpent.
How powerful the truth is. People end up acting like that. That's how powerful. All you are doing is speaking words, true words, and they're very sharp. So people like that get cut all the time. All the time.
Yeah, it shows a lot of people have used, their religion to make themselves feel tough. Like, oh, I'm educated because I read about the founding fathers or the early church fathers, and like if you can't actually deal with it when it comes to, like, if this Bible don't mean nothing when it comes to the real world and the real things that we're actually dealing with as a people, who cares? People are so far gone in this Bible, they can't even apply it to real life when it comes to when we actually have to come together as a people, because that's what it was about. When you actually have to um divide the holy things from the common things. There's so many pretenders, man. Yeah, I'm just kind of going through the book, you know. Here's Ezekiel 37:24. It says, "My servant David will be their king, and they will have one shepherd. They will walk in my rules and be careful to obey my statutes. They will dwell in the land that I gave to my servant Jacob, where your fathers lived." So that again is talking about the Pan-African Revolution right there. Literally right there, the same thing. I will send you back to the land of your forefathers where Jacob lived. That's not talking about the Middle East, that's talking about Africa. No, so God is actually putting his hand on Africa. People are looking at what's going on right now. They're not really thinking about how they're not seeing the bigger picture here. Like the bigger picture, which is what Yaju is bringing out. What Yaju has revealed is that this Pan-African revolution is a lot to do, is really about this Bible. That's what this Bible is about. It's about the restoration of Africa and how that'll lead all the nations. Then the nations will know that I am the Lord who sanctifies Israel, when my sanctuary is in their midst forevermore. Forever, forever, ever, forever, ever. Yeah. The nations will know forever. And that's simple because you can't say forever was yesterday and then it stops. You can't say these things already happened, even though this is in the Old Testament. Even though when you go to church, they're going to teach you that this is a history story because it's in Ezekiel, it's in the Old Testament. Oh, King David, yeah, that's a history story. So this already happened. But it says that the nations will know I am the Lord who sanctifies Israel, when my sanctuary is in the midst forever. So it'll come a day that'll be the beginning of forever, when the sanctuary of the Lord is in the midst and all the nations know it. That's the revolution. It's not Christ destroys the world and everything sucks. It's Christ destroys the lies and fixes the problem. It's in the world.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You ought to see my question. Why would a grown man point his nipples out on TikTok and call himself king? That is my question.
Because he is.
And point his nipples out and up and down and
Well,
call himself king? And you
well,
believe it?
that's a good question, but I had a question similar to that. What kind of grown man focused on another grown man's nipples when he's spitting out some true words, some
Because
truth out of his mouth?
if
Why is that so more important than the truth that's coming out of his mouth? That's always been a question for me when men come up and ask about his nipples. Can
what
you answer
truth
that?
what truth you can judge the Pope? Come and what reality?
No, my question was
You
how
said a truth. You said something about
I'm
truth.
trying to
And I said
understand
judge
what
what truth.
grown
He
man
did.
look at another grown man and focus on their nipples instead of the words that is speaking out of his mouth. I want to know that.
Because he's claiming to be king. That's why. And you up
So
here
so you
claiming
have
he's
to
king.
zoom into his nipples.
If you can be at home not claiming he's king, I would not be saying
So
this,
you have
lady.
to zoom into his nipples because he's claiming king.
He
Why?
flexed his nipple. Cause that's weird. What
But
king in the
why do
world
you
would flex
why
his nipples
but why
and
are you
call
so focused
what
on
was the
that?
point? What was the purpose? What can you tell me what was his purpose of doing that then?
I mean, think about what the important thing that he's talking about. Rather you believe what he's saying out of his mouth, it's still something very interesting and important. More interesting than his nipples. I mean, I'm a female and I don't even zoom in his nipples. So I'm wondering like
He
what
showed he flipped them nipples
are
out.
you straight? Are you a straight man?
Hey, I am a straight man, and I had to see
Okay, so
a
what
grown man
why
flip
do
his
you
nipples
zoom
out.
in? I want to know
I'm
like
straight with 3 kids in the back.
Okay, so why are you focusing? Why do you guys people
Because
like to
it's on
do
TikTok.
statements?
If he wouldn't have put it up there, I wouldn't have said. How you gonna be mad at me when he made the video?
I'm not even mad. I'm trying to get
But
someone.
you
You were
asking
just
me
trying
why
to
I'm
get
focused on it? Why
brother.
he focused the camera on
I'm
it?
glad
Why
you
did he
came up.
focus
I've
his
been
camera
wanting
on
to
his nipple
ask
then?
one of you
All
guys
right, I'm
because
gonna throw the question back at you though. Why
no,
did he
no,
focus the camera at
brother.
his nipple?
So pay me in crypto. Is there a dress code in the Bible?
Well, they sure ain't doing no nipple dances on the Bible.
Is
What
there a
part of the
dress
Bible they do
code
nipple
in the
dances?
Bible?
Okay, yeah, maybe yes. So yes, it is for
Where
the
is it
ladies and
at? What
all.
scripture?
For the come on, man.
Pull it up.
Dresses for the whole lot for the ladies. You know that.
Pull it up.
Pull it up. Why? It's in the Bible.
Because
You know, you the one that got the Bible talking about the Bible.
you're the one who is making it up. So
Man,
pull
we
it
can
up.
Google that one. We can Google and find that real fast. Come
Go
on.
ahead.
About dresses and girls should cover their hair. Come on, it's
Go
all
ahead,
in there.
pull it up for why
Hold on.
Yaju has to wear a shirt.
It ain't about the shirt. It's about him pointing his nipples in and out, poking it like
Go
double
pull
jointed
up the
nipple.
scripture for
that.
the
So I
dress
don't see that
code
in that
or
statement. I don't
excuse
see that.
yourself lying.
Yeah, it's kind
Huh?
of weird that you're saying that. I really want some
He did
understanding
that.
of
How that's weird? That's weird, but I'm weird, but he did the video.
dude. I've
How
been
did that
around
sound?
grown
That
men
I'm the weird
and
one, but he made the
women.
video.
I
Look,
have
stared at the
never.
camera and made the video.
I'm sorry, dude, but maybe you got a fetish for nipples or something because I don't
How?
know any grown man would
How
zoom
did
in
that?
on
I like TikTok. Maybe
like
fans
you
for
are saying.
TikTok.
I don't know. I just
But
never been around real men
hold
that
on, hold on,
does
hold on.
that,
Hold on. If it
especially
wouldn't have
if
been
it
on
means that he's
TikTok, I wouldn't have
talking.
seen that. I don't look at. You think I look up nipples? Come on, man. Come on, Miss Lady. So you think I'm looking up nipples?
That's what the conversation has been since you
That's what
got
you
up
telling me.
here.
That's what you telling me.
So yeah, that's what you're
That's what you
focusing
telling
on.
me.
That's
That's
what you're
crazy.
focusing
That's
on.
crazy. Never in my daggone life. That is crazy, Miss Lady. Why would a man would do that
That's
with
a
three
good
kids?
question.
What man
Do you
did you
have
know
any
with
more
3 kids would
questions?
look up nipples?
Do you have any more
Come on.
questions,
That's weird.
Mr. Pay Me in
That's
Crypto?
weird. Why you being weird? Now you being weird. That is weird.
Do you have any more questions, sir?
No. Hold on. Yeah,
It is
plenty of
weird, brother.
them.
I
Yeah,
completely
that's.
agree.
Yeah. You said the truth. What truth? Tell me some truth. You said truth. I want to hear what truth. Tell me some truth. You said truth. I want to hear the truth because I heard lies. Tell me the truth.
Well, stop focusing on his nipples and
I
listen
said
to
tell me
what
the truth. You going into
no,
nipple and stuff.
if you're gonna
You
do
want to
it
talk about
next time,
nipples.
because I see
See, you
that
blind
you
by
are
his nipples, Miss
putting
Lady.
focus.
I said tell me the truth.
Brother,
You
why
going
are
to
you getting
nipples.
wait a minute.
Come on.
Hold up, brother. Wait a minute here.
Come on. I told you
You came up
I
here
don't do
talking
that.
about his
I
nipples.
try to move on. You
So
want to go to the nipples.
I was just helping. Could I
And
speak?
you supposed to be crypto. You supposed to be my crypto friend.
Don't get upset me,
How
brother.
in the
Brother, you are my
how in
friend.
the
That's why I
world?
had to say something. I'm saying the same thing. I agree with you. How in the world? That's why I was trying to help you to realize, brother, of what you're doing. Because I'm like, I've never, I mean, I've been around grown ass men and I have never experienced, I don't think grown ass men would do that unless, you know what I mean? I don't know. But that's why I was trying to help you to
What?
realize
Shake
that I
their
didn't
nipples in the
understand.
camera? I didn't shake my nipples in the camera.
But
Your man shake his
that's not
nipples
what
in the camera.
I don't,
Hold on, let's get that right.
brother, I don't see that.
Hold on.
I
You should
don't.
ask that. Why you asking me that?
See,
Hold on,
we
man.
have
You
two
better
different
ask the
lenses
man to
then,
shake his
brother. Because
nipples
I'm
in the
a
camera.
female. I don't see him
I'm
shaking
sorry.
no
I'm
nipple,
so
brother.
you the
So
one
I don't know
you
what you're talking
disrespected.
about.
You calling me to
That's
be
why
like
I'm
I
like,
shake the nipple.
brother,
That's weird.
brother, don't get upset with me, brother. You came up with the nipple topic, so don't get all
I said a
fancy
truth.
pantsy with me.
Okay, Miss Lady. When you gonna go into a
You
truth?
wanted to make the topic of his about his nipples, and I thought that was a strange too. So I agree with you. That shit is strange.
Okay.
And maybe you didn't realize it before the topic that you wanted to bring up, but it is weird as hell for a grown ass straight man with kids to be talking, zooming in on somebody's nipple with the topic that is being said. Which one are you more interested in? The topic or the nipples? I'm
Lies
just
is lies.
saying.
I'll call out how it is because how you want me to call it ain't the way how I want to call it out. It don't work like that. I see a weirdo popping his
I
nipples
just
out,
think
calling
grown
himself
ass
Jesus,
straight.
and I
Listen,
call it
brother.
out that way. You can't just say
Listen, brother.
how I should
You
call
have
it out.
children, right? Do you have sons? Do you have children?
I said nipple.
Do you had three? You said you have three children, right? So
Come on.
I'm not gonna sit and tolerate grown ass straight men to come up here and talk about another man's body in that way. I have a son, okay? So let's not do that. Let's be real on this platform.
Okay. Well, let's get on this GoFundMe. Okay, when you make a gun GoFundMe, you gotta have like a gold. And what is the gold of y'all GoFundMe?
I'm gonna make it where at this point I don't want to waste my breath with your attitude right now. I would
I'm not
suggest
arguing,
you
cussing
listen.
nobody. See, when
No,
somebody
no,
asks a
I'm not.
real
No,
question,
no.
you
I'm
want
not. I'm
you gonna
not
try to
saying it's
argue with me or say I'm arguing. I'm just asking real questions.
I'm about to give you a great tip to do in your situation right here. I would suggest you go
Don't be
back.
disrespectful because I didn't
Suggest,
disrespect you. I didn't
brother, I
disrespect you
love
for
bro-
you open
brother.
your mouth,
Listen,
Miss Lady. I didn't disrespect you.
I'm
Don't
gonna
go there.
mute if I can't speak, brother, because I'm about to help you out. Because that's what I'm up here to try to do. Okay, and I'm trying to let you know the best thing for you at this point in time, brother, is to go back to the website, to the YouTubes, watch the video. Don't focus on the nipples and watch and listen. The most important thing is listen with an empty cup, brother, so you can receive the questions that you're
What
asking.
about what? Okay,
Because right now, I could sense that you are not seriously up here.
okay. But what
Okay,
about all right? What about go to website, receive, and then I get nipple part two, just because I'm following y'all, and I say I ain't want to see nipples, and then when I go up there,
brother, we don't do nipple fetishes over here. Okay, thank you, family.
Not a problem. Not a problem. A lot of these brothers, man, they just trying to laugh away the pain.
Yeah, ha ha. Laughs on them.
Who would have thunk it? The world is finally healing and it's gnashing and mourning. And I guess that makes sense. Like, you go through pain, so it's supposed to hurt. But gosh, like, it's just amazing how silly we are as people. A real solution on the table. No, everybody wants to talk about the problem, but who wants to talk about the solution? If you talk about the problem, you better be ready to talk about the solution. If somebody has the solution, that'll make you a hypocrite if you wasn't willing to talk about the solution, but you want to talk about the problem. Your rooms are getting less and less day by day. No new followers. Yeah, bruh. Popularity isn't the solution. Like people, like I don't know why y'all think we up here to entertain you. Like, are you not entertained, bro?
Yeah, brother. We out here for the real people, that can see this. And it clearly just shows you how majority of the people at this point in time on these panels, it shows you. And that's okay because we definitely looking for the real.
And the real is looking for us, so they'll come.
Facts. True story.
Right?
I've been practicing my 2 steps. Look, it looks easy, but it's not for me. It's not. But I'm working on it. I want to do a video. I'm working on it.
Yo, tell me why I thought that Joe looked too easy. And then I got to it. Like,
Like, wait, hold up. What's going? Oh well, he. I guess he just makes it look easy, you know.
Yeah, for real. Got me all the way twisted up.
For real, I'm gonna get it. Just got practice. I'm gonna get it.
Your own family doesn't believe that nonsense. Well, how could they? They're deceived.
Yeah, yeah, they are. But speaking of my family, I was getting my sisters to try to get them together to do the dance, but they drinking and all that stuff. It's so hard to get black people all together. What's the hard? They're all were willing to try it, but we couldn't. I couldn't get them all together. It was crazy. I'll try again.
Yeah, I know how that is. Yeah, the family it's real shocking what happens when you tell your people who's at home this. But it's really just to show what truly a blessing it is to be able to see and hear and to actually like feel the truth and all that. It's just a blessing. It's just not a lot of people who are gonna be able to see the vision and gonna be able to see. It's not a lot of people who like are the leaders. You have less leaders than you have the followers or the crowd or the people. You're gonna have more of the leaders. So it's kind of, I don't know. It's like waking up in a ghost town type of feeling when you can see something right in front of you. Like the prophecy's happening now. Like it's time to unite. Like it's like we can do this, y'all. Like it's up. Like he's here. Like it's over. Like coming to this information, meeting the one everyone is waiting for and talking about, and the disciples. Like, and then it's just nobody else but us who understands it. It's such a such a crazy unique blessing.
It is, sis. You describe it very well. Yeah, it is. It really is.
Yeah. It's nowhere near what I thought it was when I was out there in the wilderness looking for the truth. It's not this like what it actually was, what they was actually keeping from us this whole time. And what they had to, do to keep us down this whole time, all the yeah, it's not nothing near what I thought it actually was.
Yeah, it's out of this world. It really is.
Yeah, it's simply a people being united. Is simply a family being gathered, a nation rising up from the bottom, from the underground. That's what this is, y'all. That's what it is. So, this is a call in to our brothers and sisters to come together right now. YajuJudah.com. Please do go through the information. Please go through the information, y'all. So you're not confused. You're not in the dark. Go through YajuJudah.com and link in with us, connect with us. Because it is prophecy that we would build this government and that the nations was going to start healing, that it was going to be a great day after all the darkness. It was actually going to be a great day. And it would be you and I who do it, who make it manifest. The website wasn't convincing. Well, it's not supposed to be convincing. It's not supposed to make you feel ushy gushy inside. It's supposed to expose the agenda that's been made against you. And that's something that you can't even deny. You can't deny the Solomonic, you can't deny this throne that he sat on in Ethiopia. You can't deny it. It's there. You can't deny that Emperor Zatu sat on this throne in Ethiopia. And she put in effort, like Haile Selassie, who sat on the throne, put in effort to bring the Pan-African movement, to bring Africans who were scattered back home to Africa. You can't deny that. You can't deny that it's about Africa, it's not about the Middle East. It's about Africa, it's not about America. People didn't even know these things. And now the facts are out. And now you finding out about black men who look like African American men. It looks like African American men who sat on this throne. And that's the Bible throne. That's King David's throne. That's Jesus' throne that Jesus sits on. And you got lineage of African American men who's sitting on the throne. So what's really going on, y'all? Who's the inheritance really given to? And who's really gonna take it? Because who's really gonna accept the son who's been chosen out of our tribe? Who's really gonna follow his lead and see his majesty? Yeah. Yeah, that's why D1 is mad. Because Farrakhan did not bring the Solomonic teachings to the people. He wasn't the one. Yo, God was not the man. I'm sorry. He wasn't the man. It's a lot of people who we have as kind of idolized as being the one, like Farrakhan and Fraud Muhammad and Jesus history story and Muhammad of Islam history story and trying to think. It's some people who we've idolized in the past, but one thing that's finna be real clear about this prophecy is that once it happens, it's no more talking about it. It's not gonna be no more talking about, oh, Christ is finna do this and Jesus is finna do this and Jesus is gonna do that. It's not gonna be no more talking about it. Soon. It's literally gonna be everybody knows what happened because it happened. That's like that's like Trying to think. Like COVID, right? COVID affected just about everybody. COVID affected just about everybody. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, if there's a nation that COVID didn't affect. Okay, so it's worldwide sickness. Now, you can prophesy, oh yeah, we're going to get sick in the future. Yeah, and in 2020, it's going to be a sickness and this and that and that. You can prophesy all you want, but it don't matter until it actually happens. And when it actually happens, there's no more prophesying about it. There's no more fortune telling because it happened. Or AI. We used to prophesy talking about AI is going to come and AI is going to take over and it's going to be artificial intelligence that comes and that's going to be the new way we do things. We was prophesying about it, telling people about it. Well, now it's here. So there's no more talking about it. You're just living in it. And that's what the Bible is going to be like. It's not going to be no more churching in church and preaching and pastoring and interpreting and all these things. Like, it'll just simply be like, he is the one who was foretold and who came for our generation. And these are the people who he gathered, the saints that he gathered, and they judged the world. So we're not gonna be on the same old BS that our forefathers were on, that we were on. It was always talking about heaven coming down to earth, y'all. So this is something that is about people putting in work ourselves, people stepping up to the plate ourselves, in this unity that the Lord is establishing. We are Jew. Yeah, this is inevitable, man. This is inevitable. That'd give people so much more strength if they knew that this was inevitable. So much more courage. Because people know, man. Like, it's really people who understand this, but it's some type of fear that's holding them back. You know, like you'll hear more from people like in person. You know, when they can be more vulnerable with you. You know, maybe hit you up in private on the back end, but it's people who actually understand what we're saying and are actually listening and are actually ready to see it manifested greater. You know, so it's quiet ones who are definitely watching right now, y'all. So don't be amazed by that. Don't be amazed. So I'm gonna read this First Timothy 2:2 and 5. It says, "There's one God, and there's one mediator between God and man. The man is called CJ, Christ, who gave himself as a ransom for all, which is a testimony given at the proper time." So the ransom is the testimony given at the proper time. So a proper time is always talking about this proper time, this end day, this last day, this latter day, this appointed time. The Bible is always talking about that for a reason, because this is that proper time where the one mediator has risen up. Right now we have all these mediators, we have all these pastors, we have all these teachers, we have all these shamans and all these tarot card flippers. We have all these people who are mediating for God, but it's in the prophecy, when God would be on earth, it was always order among men. It was always a high chief and all these other chiefs who would come to him. That's how we could come together. That's all for one for all. That's the strength of the nation. When we can appoint ourselves one head. And he gave himself for ransom to be that head. So this is the one who made the sacrifice first of our brothers. And he is here now. He has been chosen in our generation. He is among us now. So it's simply, all these righteous leaders that we have all over the world, they ought to be attached to the Godhead, the God body, that's really gonna restore our people down to the root, down to the root of our issues. God is restoring our people down to the root of our issues, really. And that's by uniting our leaders under the truth. And that's what you see happening right now. So it's just a calling to take part, y'all. It's a calling to come forth. And when the work is done, it's going to be no more churching. It's going to be no more mosquing. It's going to be no more Holy Spirit dancing, and no more all these fake vain traditions that people are doing. All that stuff is going to float away, and it's going to be people living life just as God and God's people, and that's all the label it is. It's just God and God's people. It's soon going to be that. It's going to be no more, religious nonsense.
Oh yeah, I ain't mean to do that. I ain't mean to do that. I'm sorry. But peace.
But yeah, soon here, it's really not gonna be no more of that religion, man. Like, can y'all imagine what that is gonna be like when the religions are actually gone? And it's just us and our and what is true and what we can actually, like, that'll be heaven. And then that's really the promise, because then you can actually live in peace among your brothers. Like, you can actually, like, how much it hurts our people believing that I'm going to heaven, but my baby's not going to heaven. My brother's not going to heaven. My sister's going to burn in hell. Like, that is a painful state we're in. Getting rid of these religions is really that work that you needed God to step in to be able to actually remove these religions. We literally needed God to step in for that. 'Cause that's big, y'all. The chain that it has on our mind. That's big. You feel like, damn, my brother's a Muslim. I can't even unite with him for real. Like, I can't even, we don't even have the same morals. We don't even have the same values. We don't even eat the same. No, you don't trust your neighbor to send your kid out to go play with their kids. We got a real big issue with trust, you know, because we got it. It's just been hard waiting on the truth, man. It's been hard when you're getting lied to by every single institution and people don't even know they're lying to you and they lying to you. Like, really nothing we could do about it until this glorious day that we're on right now. This glorious day that we're in right now. Nothing we can do about it until now. It's like, I'm gonna read this Zechariah 13:2. It says, "On that day I will cut off the names of the idols from the land. I will cut off the names of the idols from the land so that they will be remembered no more. I will remove from the land the prophets and the spirit of uncleanness." So the idols are being removed from the land forever, cut off, removed. The spirit of uncleanness forever removed, gone, period. But everybody wants to make God into a liar. Everybody wants to make it seem like God like does something and don't finish it. And you know, does a half-assed job and he just sends his son to get tore up down here and then send him back up in the sky and just leave us down here for 2,000 years. That's literally the story that we've accepted, is that he did a half-assed job and then he went in the sky for 2,000 years. But if you actually read the paper, it says that he removes the idols forever. He removes the uncleanness forever. That means we're supposed to be living in the world that was born without it. The world that was born of understanding and peace, and we're supposed to be in that world. Or we're supposed to be waiting on Christ to come in the future. We're waiting for Christ to be among us to make these things happen. No, that's why you got the witnesses telling you that he is on earth. The one that everyone, you know, imagine in their prayers. He does have a real identity to himself. Like, he is his own person, the one who everybody would pray about, and he would be taken from the people. I need a scripture like that, because all these scriptures talk about how he will be taken from the people, y'all, but everyone wants him to come from the sky and their heart, but he comes from the people. So this is somebody who is your brother, who will be chosen as Christ, and he will look just like your brother, just like a regular brother. But he will be coming from among the tribes. And we're up here testifying that he's here and inviting people to the to the feast, to the Last Supper. All right, Hebrews 5. That's Hebrews 5:1. It says, every high priest is chosen from among men and appointed to act for them related to God, to offer the gift and the sacrifice for sin. Every high priest is chosen from among men to act for men relating to God, to offer gifts and sacrifices for sins. So Jesus ain't the only one making a sacrifice, is he? It says every single time God chooses a high priest, that means Moses made the gift and the sacrifice for sin. That means Jonah gave the gift and sacrifice for sin. That means every time God set apart one brother for the people, this one brother gave the gift and the sacrifice for the sin. That's what it's saying. That's not just Jesus. So, like, right now we're in sin. Right now we need that gift. We're waiting on the Lord's favor. Right now. And Christ is on earth. So how many people is going to say, oh, no, you can't be Christ? Nah, man. Christ, I believe in Christ, but you not him. Nah. Because my Christ is in the sky. And but no, God picks him from among men. And it says too, so that he can deal gently with the ignorant and the wayward. Because he himself is beset with weakness. And no man takes this honor on himself, but only when he's called by God. Yeah, so it's really just a time where a lot of people ain't ready for Christ to be on earth, but he is on earth like a thief in the night. A lot of people are not ready. A lot of people, they want to keep on imagining. They don't want to be held to accountability of God and the Son's judgment. They want to stay comfortable in the ways of the world. That includes your religion. That includes your belief about Jesus 100%. That's really what it's mainly about. Mainly what it's about. Like a lot of people, they spent so many hours of their life imagining. They spent so long feeling like, oh man, I'm finna go to heaven when I pass away. I hope I do, and I'm gonna meet him, and gonna say this, that, and I'm gonna go to heaven. People imagine this, dream about it every night. So you tell people that, nah, you was actually wrong. None of that's gonna happen. Like, you was actually wrong. It was an imagination, actually. That didn't come from God, actually. That came from you. You imagine that, actually. You tell people this, and their whole world falls apart. Because they thought, oh, I'm not of this world, I'm of that world. Nah, that world that you imagine is falling apart. It was never real. That's the toughest pill for people to swallow. That's when it gets real. That shows you the test of who really loves God. Because if God gives you a better heaven than the one that you imagine, you'd be surprised how many people don't want to go to heaven no more. It's a lot of people don't want to go to heaven no more because we told them the truth about heaven. And really, heaven is like a club. Like it's like the ones who get it get it. Heaven is like the city of the ones who get it. Because it's a mind frame. But soon, but what we're talking about is a revolution here. So you aren't going to have a choice. You're going to have to get it. Because it's to help you. You've been helped. The shackles have been taken off of your feet. So you can't deny that the bondage has been taken away. You can't deny that the lies have been exposed. The truth has been shown to you. The truth ain't going nowhere. The lie is the one that had to leave. So when these sins are being exposed to people, the judgment, people are going to actually see the judgment that's taking place on the world. The saints judging the world, the truth versus the lie, and the truth is going to win. And people, they're not going to be able to deny it anymore. That'd be like denying the air that you breathe. So heaven is something that really you have to accept. That's why it says it's going to be most in heaven, it's going to be least in heaven. So the people who's highest is the people who what? They put in the work to establish it for the people. And then the people who is the lowest, these are the people who was trying to fight heaven being built. That's true. Because we have the actual solution for the issues. The actual fight against the giant, and you got people who's trying to stop it. People who's trying to bury us. People who's trying to deny the one who sent him. Now that it's happening now. Yeah, with the way my generation is, like, I thought we would have been ready for something like this, but we just not. Most of us is not ready for this. So it's kind of weird, like, shouting out this good news to a bunch of people who don't want to hear it. Like, and a bunch of people is not gonna hear it because most people is not ready for it. It's a strange thing, knowing that you have exactly what everyone needs and everyone wants, but they don't want to take it from you. They probably don't want to help you pass it out neither. They don't want to. You got the medicine that'll heal them, and it tastes delicious, and they don't want to eat it. It's a weird feeling. It's a weird feeling. But that's the prophecy. That's what's going on right now. Because you waited on Christ, but you didn't want him to tell you the truth. You wanted him to keep lying to you like everybody else. Or you want him to tell you the truth. No, we want a leader, but are you gonna um actually, stand on the principles of what it takes? What the leader is actually making his sacrifice for. Where are the people who understand that? Who understand why the leader laid down his life and did what he did? Because these are the people who we're calling for right now. It's a beautiful time where the responsibility has been given for us to unite the leaders. Because the world is about to change. God has stretched out his hand. God has sent his right hand man. God is raising up a nation of people who are faithful and true. Expose the darkness that's in the world and that's been used to keep us down. Putting the light on it. Bringing out what's been hidden from the beginning. How our forefathers got us into this mess in the first place. All these things are coming out, and it's simply a call to action, y'all. A call to action for us to stand together in unity, because everyone has a part to play. Everyone has a shovel they can pick up and help dig when it comes to this. Whether it's just letting people know, people in your city, whether it's reaching out to certain connections that we can use in this mission, like lawyers and judges and people who have some type of authority and some type of administration that could help with building our government for God and the government of God. So many ways to help. So many ways you could help. We got artists. We got artists. So people is making all types of art, music for this. If y'all look up NK Step, then you look up NK Step or NK Step Challenge. We have a dance challenge that's just been put out. So it's just there's many ways that we can do to many things that we can do to gather this nation, y'all, and that's really what it's all about. It's that time where what's to say where the wise men they seen the star and then they gave their gifts. Now come on, y'all, that's not literally some wise grown men with long beards. Three of them, it's like, oh look, a star, and then they got their gifts and they gave gifts to a literal star in the sky. How'd they even do that? They didn't. It was people who were chosen by God, and then they see this brother, and he's a regular brother, but God is with him like God was with Moses, like God was with Jesus. God is with him. So they see the star. They see the Star of David. I'm one of the wise men, one of the wise women who's seen the Star of David himself, the man who was chosen out of David, the star. I seen him. And that's how I know these things, because I didn't know about no David's throne and no David's lineage and no Kingdom of Judah and no King of Kings of Israel and Ethiopia. I didn't know about these things. I had to hear it from the star. When I found the one who was telling the truth, I was like, let me give my gifts. And that's what's happening right now. You got people who's like, oh my God, this is the one. He's the one everyone's waiting for. They won't even recognize it, but this is the one. And they're bringing their gifts. This will help the word get out. This will help God be glorified and God win the battle in the end. Landing all the people on the same accord, on the same side. We'll be on the same side at the end of this. Vain imagination. What's vain about it? You've been listening since I've been up here. That I'm imagining things. You just listening to me imagine things. Ain't nothing fake about this. These are things that we have our hands on and in. Starting a nation isn't as complicated as I don't know. I think people think starting a nation is impossible or something. Like starting a nation isn't impossible. Judging the world is not impossible. Taking to court your oppressors is not impossible. If they covered up a lie, or if they covered up the truth and they told you a lie, exposing the lie and telling the truth is not impossible. Bringing that judgment day on their head is not impossible. It's simply work that gets done. And a lot of this stuff isn't what we talk about. Like we don't talk about how brothers and sisters from our nation sent in the paperwork and sent in the judgments. We don't talk about this too much because you know that's just not really the biggest focus. A lot of the behind the scenes things people aren't going to know about until they're forced to understand why we're doing it. And that's when the whole world is going to be changed because of what we've been doing. What's up, cop killer? I don't know if it's me. You're muted, or you're not muted. I can't hear you though.
Really, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you just a couple simple questions. I've been on here for a while. Did you just see me up here?
No. I just thought you might be on nonsense, so I didn't want to bring you up.
Why? Why would you think that?
Because I don't remember you ever being serious.
Oh yeah. Hey, I wanted to ask you, what happened to Jen? Is she still with you guys?
Yeah, she'd be around.
Okay. I heard she disappeared.
Yeah, she's doing good.
Alright, good. Now, what I wanted to ask you was what is the purpose of double talk?
The purpose is to divide the pure from the or from the holy from the common.
So Jesus double talked?
No,
No?
no.
Who double? Where do you get it from then?
The devil is the double talker.
The devil's the double talker?
Yeah.
But I thought the devil wants to like mix everyone up together, the pure and the unpure.
Well, like the double talking is like a reprobate mind. It's like when yes, it's kind of like you're mixing stuff up, but Christ never does that. Everything he says is true.
So the purpose is to do what again?
The purpose is so people know what the good and what the bad is, so that they always make the right choice.
That's the purpose of double talk. So, and the devil does that. The devil wants people to make the right choice.
No, the devil wants to just keep people in darkness.
But you just said the devil double talks.
Yeah, double talking is an example of double talking would be, um, I'm not the one to judge. I'm not nobody. But also I'm a pastor, so come listen to my sermon. I'm gonna teach you about sin. But I'm a sinner and I ain't shit. And don't listen to me. I'm not a judge. But come listen to my sermon. So people, that's the devil double talking.
Oh, I thought double talk is like when you're saying something, but there's a subconscious meaning to it. That basically you're saying something that doesn't appear to be what you're saying. It's not what you're really saying is not at surface level. You have like a surface level meaning, and then you have like a deeper meaning, like a double meaning. I thought that's what double talk was.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah, those are just talking in metaphors. That's just because people don't understand. So the metaphors helps people understand.
Okay, but a metaphor—that's not what a metaphor is, because a metaphor is like obvious. Like a metaphor is not a double meaning. A metaphor is like you're using an example of of an obvious thing to help explain something else. But the fact that you're explaining something else is obvious. Like a double talk is like, well, it's not obvious that you have a double meaning. The double meaning's there, but it's not obvious. Like you're not showing that you're intentionally doing it. It's deceitful. A metaphor is not deceitful. It's just a tool to try to bring understanding to something else. Isn't that true?
Um, I mean, I think I hear what you're saying. You know, um,
Okay, so you're not serious. All right. Well, that makes sense why you accuse me of not being serious then. I'm
yeah.
glad Jen's doing good. You're an ugly ass nigger and a sellout bitch.
What we dealing with, y'all? Can't make this shit up. Can't make this shit up. Yeah. What we saying don't even be complicated, y'all. Like, this shit, you could teach it to fifth graders. It's really not complicated. But King will use that metaphor a lot of when someone is stuck in a cage and it's like an animal is stuck in a cage and the animal is gonna start tripping on you, start trying to bite on you and scratch at you and bark at you because the animal wants to be free from the cage, but it's also angry, so it's gonna attack you, getting you out, getting getting it out of the cage. So like that's really what this is. If you're, you know, if you're not actually on the side of the truth, you're gonna find yourself against it somewhere. Um, you know, but it's not gonna change. It's still gonna be for the people. What's up, truth seeker? Truth seeker, I can't hear you. You gotta unmute. You gotta come back to TikTok. We can't hear you when you're not in TikTok. You have to come back to TikTok. Gotta come back to TikTok. Probably got like one more guest, y'all. Got about 13 minutes until we have our meeting on the back end for the Niggas Kingdom. Y'all go to the website if you haven't already. YaJujuda.com. You ready to meet with the family for our meetings on Mondays that we have about our nation building and moving forward in the mission. We also have a an event coming up. Y'all go to the Niggas Kingdom TikTok or whatever on any social media. Go to Niggas Kingdom, and we'll have the information for this event that we have in Piedmont Park. In Piedmont Park, that's in Atlanta or the Atlanta area. We got an event, so it'll be food. It'll be Christ and the saints. You know, our king and our nation. You know, so a lot of the family's gonna be able to make it out. So definitely do. You know, if you're in the Atlanta area, 31st of May, coming up in a few days here. Most of the family will be able to make it out. So these are the events, y'all. You know, let people know that we serious. Let people really fill us out in person. So, you know, come together, fill each other out. Really coming together to get rid of these to really break the chains, to really talk about you know, to really strategize the plans that goes into it, because it's a lot of plans that goes into it. You know, like an example, right? We're selling hats, right? Y'all go to Yajuju to 3, or you go to Yajuju to 3 at the TikTok shop, and you can buy one of our hats, right? We just came out with a black one. Now, selling these hats is great because it shows the image of our nation. What's this new nation? What's these niggas talking about? They building their own nation. What you mean you got the Pan African colors and you establishing your own nation? What you mean you got your own flag? What you mean your king is in America? You know, so it's showing people it's like advertising. It's showing people it's showing people the symbols of this new nation that's being risen up, and then also that money is able to be used for things like when we travel, things like when we have to hire people. You know, so it's, you know, certain things like that. That's brainstorming that people do, and when we need that brainstorming, we need, you know, people who can do these certain things. you know, that's really what it's all about, you know, seeing where the gifts that has been given to us and how we can use it for the glory of God. Hey family, I think I'm gonna shut this one down. No, because we have just a few minutes until the meeting, so I think I'm gonna just shut her down. For another guest comes up at the last minute or something. But yeah, peace and blessings to the real. Salute to the family. Salute to the saints. Much love and respect to y'all. Much appreciation to everyone who listens and really is righteous and does their best out here. People who love the truth will hold on to it, hold on a little longer. Cause it's time, y'all. We gonna do it. We gonna come together. So you know, keep spreading the good news. So we can come together, y'all. YaJujuda.com. You can contact the website. Join our meetings. Make sure y'all are supporting the petition as well. The petition helps with the judgment against the Roman Catholic Church. Make sure y'all are supporting the GoFundMe as well. This supports everything we do as a new upcoming nation from the bottom. And read the information, because with you understanding, that helps the world understand. That helps the people understand. So you get your understanding so that other people can get it. But yeah, peace.